Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and the most merciful. Guys, in my lecture, you have seen that I explained about type A and type B of a square root function, right? And I told you I have given some examples related to type 1 and type 2, and you have seen that, right? Now I am going to give you a mix of question of linear equation which has type 1 and type 2, and now I am going to tell you the formula and how we will solve, how we will find the domain of such functions, such square root functions, right? So I'm going to tell you, I have mentioned here 5 questions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I have given you this equation, and the question is find the domain. Okay, so I'm going to write down the answer here. Okay, so the first one. Okay, this is the first one, and before explaining the first one, I want to write out the function formula. Okay, how will you find the domain, right? So it's better you just write down minus y-intercept divided by coefficient of x. This is the formula I told you, but the minus is always outside. Y-intercept divided by coefficient of x. Okay, I can give you one example here. For example, if I have 2x plus 3, so this 3 is the y-intercept and this 2 is the coefficient of x. Okay, so we will use this one, and I told you the direction of the infinity, right? Okay, I'm going to solve this question. Answer 1. Answer 1, we have fx is equal to under root 2x plus 8. As you can see here, the coefficient of x is greater than 0, means 2 is greater than 0, right? This is means type 1. And if this is type 1, the direction will be this side, right? Means the positive infinity. So you can say here positive infinity, and you have to use the open bracket. Okay, now you have to use the formula here. Okay, what is y? This is what? Minus, write down minus y-intercept. What is the y-intercept here? 8, right? Divided by coefficient of x. What is the coefficient of x? 2. So it becomes what? And you have to use the open bracket. So minus 8 by 2 comma positive infinity, you can say minus 4 to positive infinity. Use the open bracket, and this is close bracket. This is the first answer, the first domain of question number 1. Now we are going to solve question number 2. Question 2, we have fx which is equal to under root minus x by 2 plus 4, right? So first we have to see the coefficient of x. Here you can say this is minus 1 by 2. The number is what? Minus 1 by 2, which is less than 0. It means this is type 2. Whenever you see type 2, the graph is this one, right? It means this will be minus infinity. So you have to write here minus infinity always. And we have to write down the domain from minus to positive side, right? So this is minus infinity. So use the open bracket, comma, use this formula. This is minus outside, okay? Y-intercept, what is the y-intercept here? 4. Divided by coefficient of x. What is the coefficient of x here? Minus 1 by 2, minus 1 by 2, and use the, now you can solve it minus infinity. Minus plus, you can say minus plus, and this 4 is multiplied by 2, means you can say 4 multiplied by 2, 8. So you can say the domain is minus infinity to positive 8. Question number 3. You can see here fx is equal to under root x minus 1, right? If you see here, this is 1, right? This is 1, and 1 is what? Greater than 0. It means this is what? Type type 1, right? So type 1, so always This is the graph, and this means this is positive infinity. So it means this is positive infinity. Use this bracket and then apply this formula. This is what? Minus y-intercept. What is the y-intercept? Minus 1 divided by coefficient of x. What is the coefficient of x here? 1. So minus minus, you can say 1. You can say minus minus plus 1, 1 to positive infinity. So this is the domain of question 3. Right? And now we are going to solve question 4 and 5, but first we have to erase this one. We can also explain everything with the inequality, but the problem, some student does not know how to solve the inequality. So by the graphical way, it is so easy to understand the domain of a square root function which has both type 1 and type 2. Okay, question 4. So question 4, what is the function? The function is 5 over 2 x minus 3 by 2, and we have to find the domain. Again, you have to check only this part, the coefficient of x, the nature you have to find. 5 over 2, which is positive, so you can say greater than 0. It means this one is type 1. For type 1, the graph is always this one. It means this is positive infinity. So you can say this is positive infinity. Now you have to use this one, the minus sign. What is y-intercept? Which is minus 3 by 2, right? This is minus 3 by 2 divided by coefficient of x, which is 5 by 2. And here you have to use this bracket, right? And this is open bracket. So minus minus plus, it's so easy. So you can say this is 3 over 2, and this is make the reciprocal of this one. So 2 divided by 5 comma positive infinity. So 2 and 2 cancel, you have 3 over 5. So from 3 over 5 to positive infinity, this is the domain of question 4. And the last question, again we are going to erase first because we have no space here, and then we will solve question 5. Okay, so Alhamdulillah. Okay, question 5. What is the question 5 here? Fx, which is equal to under root minus x plus 3 over 2, right? Okay, in this question I'm going to solve you how to find the domain, but first you have to find this one. What is that? Minus 1. Minus 1 is less than 0. It means this is type 2. And type 2 is always this one. It means it goes to minus infinity. So first write down minus infinity and use the open bracket, right? And then apply this formula. This is minus y-intercept. What is the y-intercept? 3 over 2 divided by coefficient of x, which is what? Minus 1. And use always the open bracket, right? Oh, sorry, close bracket. This is minus infinity, comma, minus minus plus. Once, if the 1 is written in the denominator, doesn't matter. So now you have what? 3 over 2. Use this bracket and this one. I hope guys, all of you understand. This is the domain of question 5. Minus infinity to 3 by 2. If you give any value between this interval, this function exists. If you give any value out of this interval, this function never exists. So this is the way to solve to find the domain of a square root function. Either it is the case of type A or type B, doesn't matter. So guys, in my next lecture I'm going to tell you if the square root has the quadratic equations. It has 3 cases, right? 3 types. So I will explain you each type in each lecture, and you will inshallah understand that. Okay, even guys, in these questions or my previous lecture, if you have a problem, just mention the comments. Whenever we have a time, I will reply you. I hope guys you all understand. Take care. Bye bye.